So, this video is to show you how to evaluate the importance of the structures and features in Heaven's Light, Hellfire by Alan Menken from the Disney version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. If you've watched the video already, to get some context of what this is about, you'll see that Quasimodo is the first singer. He is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's ugly. He's lived his life away from people, and he came down during a festival, and he met this girl who looked at him and was kind to him. The other half of the song is sung by Judge Frollo, who's very pious. He's kind of the moral and ethical leader of his city, and again has a very religious background. Okay, and has also seen the same girl that Quasimodo saw and cares deeply and passionately for her. So let's look at the text. So many times out there, I've watched a happy pair of lovers walking in the night. They had a kind of glow around them. It almost looked like heaven's light. So we see kind of glow, heaven's light. We have light imagery. You also may have seen rhyme, and there will be other rhymes, but remember that maybe rhyming isn't the most important thing. It is a technique, but it's not the most important. So let's keep looking. I knew I'd never know that warm and loving glow. Again, we have the repetition of glow. Though I might wish with all my might, no face as hideous as my face was ever meant for heaven's light. So here's an idea of tone and characterization. Okay, the character, he feels ugly and unworthy. But suddenly an angel, okay, angel, metaphor, because she's not actually an angel, has smiled at me and kissed my cheek without a trace of fright. I dare to dream that she might even care for me. Okay, so here, again, we see hope, but hope is related to his lack of self-worth. And as I ring these bells tonight, my cold, dark tower seems so bright. Again, the light imagery and the contrast between the dark tower and the brightness. I swear it must be heaven's light. So this is the first part sung by Quasimodo. So we're going to move on now to the second piece, which is sung by the angry and passionate and religious Frollo. Confiteor Deo omnipotenti, I confess to Almighty God. So all of this language here is in Latin, and Latin is a language that isn't used anymore, but often prayers and religious hymns and psalms were originally in Latin. So the translations that aren't part of the song are in brackets here. Beata Maria Semper Virgini, to the Blessed Mary ever virgin. Okay, so being a virgin was an important offering to God. So offering to God in the religious beliefs at the time that you would only get you would only have sex after marriage. And therefore that would be important in what's coming up about his feelings. Beato Michele Arcangelo, to the blessed Archangel Michael, Sanctus Apostolis Omnibus Sanctus, to the holy apostles, to all the saints, Beata Maria. So this is an example of jargon, because it's not a linguistic change into itself, because it's in a different language. But the idea here is that the jargon represents the religious aspect of the character, okay? The fact that he's praying in directly in the original Latin to all of these angels shows the importance that religion has in this place, and therefore using the Latin and not the English. You know I am a righteous. Okay, so righteous is an important word. So the vocabulary used here is important, because righteous can mean religiously correct, but righteous also has negative connotation, so denotation, and the connotation of this would be also that he's better than everybody else, and looking down on others. Okay, of my virtue. So his virtue is his good qualities, but also in this case it would be his virginity as well, because as he is unmarried, he wouldn't have had any activities with a woman, because that was what is expected, particularly of his person in his position. Etibit Pater, and to you, Father, Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer. Okay, so this is in terms of sexuality, but also in terms of just better or sin-free. Okay, so again, connotation and denotation here. The common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. So the vocabulary here showing that he's better. Kia pecave nimis, that I have sinned. Then tell me, Maria, why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul. So here we have examples of fire imagery. So before there was light and heaven, and here we have fire imagery. So if we go back to all the light imagery from before, this is a suggestion of heaven. Whereas when we go back down, and Quasimodo, also the tone was more positive and hopeful. Whereas, hopeful. Whereas, as we go down to Frollo, or back to Frollo, we see that the fire imagery is suggestion of hell, and the tone is more negative and sinful and penitent. This idea that he feels like he has sinned in some way.